Hi, welcome to another video on my Arduino Mega2560 board and a breadboard full with components including Technique motors, one with switch and chain, and two motors with a propeller. Last time I had the difficulty that some stuff did not work anymore, and I found that I had to replace a transistor, and that took some time. Now, for the first time in a few weeks, I'm turning it on again, power on. And I find that although the LEDs on the Arduino are working, and let me show you a little bit better, you see the three LEDs are working, but these three are not working. And when I just move the board a little bit, these are working. So that is a bit complicated. The wiring is a bit flaky, and so far it also shows that this LED isn't working. It was a bit troublesome in the beginning. You already hear the motor. Now it's going to work. You see that it passes the switch, and now it works as should, almost, because the LED in the middle still does not do anything. And this LED in the middle should be working correctly, but also inverse to these. So whatever is exactly the matter, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, this shows that it kind of works. And what I want to focus on, let me make sure that these motors work as well. And unfortunately it doesn't look like they are working. This is working, kind of, and this is still not working, not at all even. This one is working. How is this one doing? And this was a mystery last time, and still is. Why isn't it working? I already replaced this transistor. Let me pull up this one. Alright, this motor is working, but this one isn't. Well, this was the one that always worked. So, still a mystery. Anyway, after checking this, I want to see how I can save all the data from this board. And let me see if this motor somehow keeps working. I hope so. And the rest, I hope, will be with coding, and see if I get some data capture done. providing also this one being at work and staying to work. And that seems to be a bit of a problem. Okay, let's hope this keeps working. So let's go to the serial monitor and see how that goes on. Alright, so I have kind of put the breadboard in working order. Unfortunately, not everything is working as should. Most of all the two motors, but what really is important is the serial monitor, and that looks like working kind of nicely. So what I want to do is data saving, which actually is let's see, printing to file. So what I first need to do, and I'll start here a new part. Printing to file for capturing data. Oh, let me just see if I can do that via the serial monitor. No, I cannot. That's okay, enough said. So I need to do that here. And the thing is that in standard C you'll include printing and file, etc. So that has to be done here as well. So this has to be done as follows. You open a file which you may call FP, and then you write to it. First open it, for example the file Arduino TXT, open it to write, then you put, for example in this case, input 12 to it, after which you close it. So let's just see how this is going to work. And I'm very curious about it because this will run on the Arduino, not on the PC. So let's just see how this is going to act. Compiling. See. file was not declared in the scope. I have to find out how this, if this actually works. Experimenting can be tough. And indeed, as I already thought, this will not work at all, since the Arduino cannot print to my computer, although it is connected through USB to the serial monitor. So any kind of data capturing should be done in another way. And since serial monitor has no option there for either, I will need another way to do it, which is probably using Octave and serial access. So let's see how that will work. Anyway, this I can throw away and upload. And everything works as it was. So let's see how we can do it in another way. But before I can use either Scilab or Octave for reading input from the Arduino, I have to define serial ports. Now, is that not such a problem? Seemingly, because there is a library I can use, NewSoft Serial. You can find it online, and then define that ports 15 and 14 and 15 can be used as serial ports, which are transmit and receive. So this is from the side of the Arduino, which means that transmit should go to the receive port on the network cable, on the serial cable, and transmit and receive vice versa. And then say my serial is. Then next, giving a baud rate, and then go on. However, when I say compile, I get here that although the path is correct, it says it has conflicting return type. No match for calling, print line was not declared in the scope. This is a very different error, which can be led back to standard I/O library. I put it in, but despite that, let me do it again. It still is there. There is no error on finding standard I/O library, but this is conflicting. And without this working, and let me show you in Octave in this case, which is a free software where MATLAB is very commercial, but it does the same. And I have made a program which uses the serial port, and here I get some data. But in order to capture this should be working, and right now that is obviously not the case. So what I do is checking on this, and there is no mistake in here. My serial is my serial. What I can do though is say my serial begin. Let's see what that brings. Text over here, a little bit higher, see what happens. Same problem. Looking at it, the first real error is in line 33, with this print line. If I just change it to print and then say \n, which is actually the same because print line makes it a new line afterwards, and \n has exactly the same function, new line. Let me see if that works, because I have to keep in mind that Arduino C is a subset of standard C, but unfortunately that doesn't matter in this case. Can I do something else? I can of course say serial print. I think I will do that. So since of course what I have to keep in mind as well is that the Arduino cannot print here on screen, it can just print in the serial monitor. So I will stick to that, serial.print. Now that is alright now. But anyway, there's an analog in-out conflict. And right now I have no clue how to solve this. So, for now I'm back to square one with the serial cable between my computer and the Arduino connected to pin 14 and 15. Cross connecting of course, so transmitter connected to receive and receive connected to transmit. Another point is, which is also pointed out online, is that why use that if you have this serial monitor? Well, from here, as I pointed out, I can't do any receiving data and saving them online, saving them on my computer, and I want to do that. So I need to have a way to do that, which is this this attempt to read another serial port. and that leads to more investigation. And some more finding out, some more research led to the conclusion that this is not to be used by an IDE newer than 1.0, and since I'm at 1.7.9, this line has to go. I should use this software serial, and this line can go too, although I can use my serial and then see what happens. And print line, see what that does, because as you can see everything compiles. So let's see what happens now. It does. What does serial monitor show? Auto scroll out. Doesn't do anything. Okay, so this is printed once, but I don't want that once. I want this to be printed continuously. So I need to put this right here. And of course this is double print line and /n. So I remove the \n, and let's see what happens then. It compiles. Let's check for serial monitor. And hello is not printed. Not printed at all. Anyway, now that I have put things in there, I should use the write to 14 and 15, to 1 and from 1, to actually write some data out. Which happens here, by the way. And the question is, now I should do something in here to write it, and that will be a next challenge. So let's see how this works out, but I found some info that should act the same. Although this is printed, yes, that's another point. I should be able to open a terminal, and as you can see here, it is USB 0. So I can't use it in here. So let me open a terminal. And I have to use the same baud rate. Now let's see what the baud rate is again. It is 9600. So, and it is far from 9600. I don't want to change this. So Very simple. Let's change it here. Let's just do that. Play a little bit, playing around. Because on both ends the baud rate should be the same. And not just that, number of bytes etc. should also be the same. But let's keep it to this right now. That means that there is input, but it's not quite intelligible. But it does mean that I get some info. Let's leave it for now and see. I get info from it, so that's one thing. Connection is working. The question now is intelligible info. Let's find that out. To make it a little bit easier for myself, I can make an int my serial value is whatever value. Let's make 1415, and then go right here, discard this idea and say my serial print, and then my serial value. See what that makes out. Not quite sure what it will do, but let's just test it. Apparently that works somehow. Let's go to a terminal and start it again, and now it doesn't do anything. If I go here, basic usage, and they say my serial print just about anything which has this situation, but I want to write something like a single byte. A byte is one number, more numbers, more digit is more bytes, so let's keep it to 1 then. Where am I here? Let's stick to digit 1. And just write something, and this should be not serial write but my serial dot write. and hit right. Let's see again. Compiling goes fast, uploading is okay. What does this do? Right now, nothing anymore. Will it change when I change the program back for like this, commenting out? Okay, let's get in again. It doesn't do anything anymore. It's still connected. So so much for let's just do it like this once more. See if that does matter. No, no solution. So anyway, I have come a step closer. I do want to capture it using either Scilab or Octave. So far haven't managed yet, but it doesn't matter. Enough to continue. So thank you for watching, and to be continued.